Pilates Lab. This is the Inside Out Challenge where we're looking at Joseph Pilates 34 mat Pilates exercises that we find and return to life. This is session number 3, and today's exercise is rollover. Rollover is our first inversion in this series, and inversions can feel a little bit overwhelming, and it can ask for us to call on muscle groups that we're not used to calling on in a specific way. And so we're going to play with some modifications to build you up for the full exercise. I will say that typically the full exercise is maybe 3 and not a ton, although sometimes nowadays people like to throw these types of exercises more than the number of reps that are recommended. One of the things I do recommend today is if you have a block, a mat, or a ball, to bring that in. If you have osteoporosis, this is one of those exercises you might consider tapping out of because of how much flexion that happens on the back end of things. But like I said, we build up to a certain place with this practice. So you might be able to do neutral bridge and things like that, but when it comes to drawing the legs up and over, and that's one of those places where I recommend that you say no to. All right, so meet me on your back. And let's take a few breaths here. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. And do that a few more times. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Scanning and noticing the places in your body that feel really good today. And noticing the places that are calling for kindness and compassion. And set your intention for today's session. All right, start to meet me with your knees bent, and we're going to do our belly breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Inflating the belly with air with every inhale. And drawing the abdominals in with every exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. Do that a few more times. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. And from here, you're going to start to take your pelvic clocks. Your 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock is our focus for today. So scooping on your exhale, drawing your pubic bone towards you, and on your inhale, take it in the opposite direction, finding that mouse house between your low back and the ground, and do that a few more times. Trying to have the pelvis lead this action for 3, for 2, and 1. And then we're going to start to march right leg and left, right, and left. Taking your time here. 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're going to do our neutral bridge. So you want to think about having your arms as an extension. We're not going to do anything with our pelvis to start. If you're osteo, you're going to stay here throughout, and when I have the articulated version, we're going to stay in this neutral bridge. So on every exhale, you're going to push your hips towards the ceiling, and then come back down. Feeling your hamstrings starting to activate here, and do that for 3, and slowly bring it back down. Pushing through the heels, and maybe you can get a little bit higher by engaging your arms into this practice. That's the one. And then slowly release. Let's reset those abdominals. Inhale. Belly goes up. Exhale. Hold the abdominals towards the spine. Find your 12 o'clock scoop. And then now you're going to articulate one vertebrae at a time off the mat, keeping the pubic bone rolled towards you. If you have osteoporosis, you're going to stay in that neutral variation. And then you're going to articulate back down, starting with your upper back, followed by your middle back, lower back, tailbone, and then you're going to unscrew, find that mouse house. Reset the abdominals, exhale, pull the abdominals in, scoop, and then slowly articulate, moving from your lower back, followed by your middle back, and then come all the way back up. And we're going to do that 2 more times, just like that. Coming back nice and slow. And this is the same movement that we're going to use for our rollover. All right, so resetting your abdominals in between each set and keeping them engaged as you lift. And on that last one that's coming up, I want you to consider holding it here. Especially, and this is also for those who are doing that neutral bridge, where you're not articulating enough, you're just keeping a neutral spine. From here, you can just keep holding or shift and lift that right leg up. And then switch, bringing that left leg up. Notice what happens to your hips as you do that. So this is a bridge march. So exhaling every time you bring that leg up. Noticing what that feels like through the back of your legs. And try to not let those hips sink towards the ground. You got 1 more on each side. Exhale. Last one. And then slowly articulate it back down. And release. Bring your knees to your chest. And make some circles with your legs. Take it in the opposite direction. And then come back to center. You're going to extend those legs out towards the ceiling. You're going to point and flex your feet towards the ceiling. Keep trying to find some more length through the back of your legs here. For 3. For 2. And for 1. Bend the knees. Roll to the right or left side of your mat. And what we're going to do is find either a block or a circle to help with the next exercise. So this next exercise is to help you find the lift that we're going to be looking for. So you're going to meet me back on your back. You're going to lift your hips up in that bridge position, either your block or a ball. You'll find more stability with the block. You won't find as much stability with the ball, but the ball is softer. So those are the things that I want you to consider. Now you're going to press the hands up, and then for my people who may be dealing with osteo, you're going to stay right here, and maybe you're going to lift up from here. So you're going to press your hands and roll up away from the block or ball. So you're lifting those legs up and over, roll up. And you're going to find that abdominal support through those low abs. So you're going to inhale and lift, and exhale, come back down with control. Can we do 3 more just like that? Think about squeezing through your inner thighs as you lift. Inhale, lift, and then come back down. Bring the knees towards your chest. Now inhale, lift, and bring the knees towards you. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, slowly find your ball or your block. Inhale, lift, and slowly find your ball and block. Next time you lift, can you lift up higher? And maybe you bring some support to your low back, like you're going into a shoulder bridge, and then bring the legs back behind you. And then slowly roll back down, bring your knees into your chest. All right, that felt good. Maybe, maybe not. All right, let's talk about the purpose of this particular exercise, because we're getting in towards rollover. It's to help with your abdominal strength and control. It's also there to support your spinal flexibility and articulation, as well as being able to find stability through your shoulders. All right, so we're going to do that 2 more times. So draw your knees in towards your chest, and then inhale, lift, and then maybe you find your low back and play with bringing the legs behind you. And from here, we're just going to bring the legs up and down for 3, for 2, and for 1. Slowly bring your knees towards your chest, and on your exhale, roll down. All right, maybe you bring your feet down And maybe you get rid of that ball for a second and windshield wipe your legs side to side. Okay, now this is definitely one of those exercises where coordination is our thing. So next time we lift, we're going to try to go for the full exercise. Whether you're supporting your low back or not, this is the work. You're going to float the legs up behind you. Then you're going to bring the legs out wide, flex the toes towards the floor, and then you're going to roll down and bring the legs back together to a 45-degree position. So let's do that with the low back still on the ground. So you're going to roll the legs towards you, up and over, rolling the back off the mat. You're going to open the legs while the legs are parallel over your head, flex the feet towards the floor, and then you're going to roll down, articulating the spine down as you squeeze the legs together. So you're just focusing on the legs here. So the legs go together, they go apart, you flex the toes, you circle them around, and then you come back. We're going to do 2 more like that. Legs comes towards you, open the legs wide, flex the feet, come down, and squeeze the legs together. And 1 more. Legs go up, bring the legs out, squeeze through those inner thighs, and then you're going to come back together. I forgot to tell you the flex. All right, if this is your first time doing rollover, if you find going into a shoulder stand to be a little bit overwhelming, I suggest bringing a block, a mat, or a ball underneath your hips. So again, from this bridge position, we find it, and we're going to only do this 3 times because we don't want to overwhelm ourselves with this exercise. So press your hands into the ground, scoop, roll up and over, flex the feet, open up, and then slowly roll down, sweeping the legs together, and then that was our 1. All right, how did that feel? Take a moment to process it. Okay, and we're going to do that again. If you have a ball, maybe you need to adjust it. So you're going to scoop from your low abs to roll over, and then you're going to flex the feet towards the floor, open the legs out wide, and then slowly using your arms as an extension of your abs to squeeze through and then reset. Now, if you want to try this last one to see where you are, you can take the ball or the block away, but if you feel like that gave you the that you needed to lift, you don't have to. All right. Again, you can always bring your hands at your low back to help find that support that you're looking for. So on your inhale, we're going to lift, bring the legs up and over, open the legs out, flex the toes towards the ceiling, and then or towards the floor, and then on your exhale, you're going to slowly roll down, sweep the legs together, bring your knees into your chest, and that was our rollover. All right, let's talk about it. How do you feel about inversions? How do you feel about having your legs above your heart or behind you? What are the things that shows up for you in terms of like your thoughts about this? Are there things like fear, like, oh no, I'm going to hurt my neck? Some things that you want to consider, and I didn't say it, was to just keep looking up while you're doing this exercise. And I'll just make that note on the back end when I upload this. So I can't wait to hear your comments and your feedback as we work through these 34 exercises. See you tomorrow. Bye.